What's going on, motorsports fans? This is Jared here with the Bearded Garagistas. Always with me is my brother Brett.
How you doing?
And today we're really excited to present to you Mr. Sean Musa.
Present like they don't know him already.
Everybody pretty much knows him. We're going to talk about his 1UZ V8 powered 97 Lexus SC400 right after we hear from our sponsors. King Buddha CBD, high performance hemp, providing high quality THC free products. Find more information at kingbuddhacbd.com. The International Roll Racing Association. The International Roll Racing Association, IRRA, is the first ever sanctioning body for the sport of roll racing. Become a professional race driver at raceirra.com. So, making noises already.
Car's got something to say.
Apparently. Real quick before we get started, I want to give a shout out to Chris Mutran. Tried to shave his legs with his chainsaw, apparently. That didn't go over too well. Went over about as well as you would think. I'll show you the pictures later. Wow. Pretty rough. But he's good. He's up and walking, so quick recovery to you, and I hope you feel better.
Speedy recovery.
Speedy recovery. So we have a lot of questions for Sean. We have a lot of questions about the car, a lot of questions about his background, and we also got some questions off of Instagram. So let's get started. What was your car history? Did you always run with Lexuses, or did you have cars in the past? I know you had a Probe at one point.
Yeah, that was probably my car that got me known, was the Ford Probe. I mean, that was a...
What did you have done to that?
It was a boosted, mega squirted, gutted car. It weighed 2250 with me in it, and it made 480.
And if you don't know, Sean's a large individual.
6'4".
So,
wow.
How long did it take you to put that together? Were you a kid? How old were you when he did that one?
That had to have been 04, 05, so early, mid-20s.
Okay. Yeah, and you remember the horsepower and everything? Did you ever put it on a dyno?
Yeah, on Jack's dyno it did 380. On STP dyno it did 480.
Damn. Did you always get that much of a difference when you go from one dyno to the other?
Usually, on Jack's, on HP Logic, it's a heartbreaker, but I prefer that.
Okay.
I prefer it because on that dyno it's like real power. STP is real power too. It's just that I rather say I have 380 than 480.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you'd rather go with the lower number it's more true to what you got.
It helps me with races.
Helps with things.
When
you were growing up, though, so it wasn't just, imports that you were looking at. You were just... What was that car that caught your eye?
I guess it would be the Viper. Is when I first got into man, I want a Viper. I want a car. I want a fast car.
Yeah.
And then my brother bought this 88 Ranger with a 351 Windsor in it. Had no idea. We both didn't know anything about cars. But he bought it because he wanted a work truck. Had no idea. I mean, this is a race. It was a race truck.
Yeah,
And he bought it, and we went for a ride, and I mean, I couldn't even move my face. I mean, it was stuck. And I'm like, you can't drive this to work every day. This is a race truck. And he's like, oh, no. So he had it for about a year. And he took us to the track. They kicked him out. He went too fast.
Really?
Wow.
And, I mean, he's never raced before ever. I mean, it was crazy. So that got me hooked on speed. So then I bought a 97. I don't know what is 97.
Yeah,
cars?
you like the 97.
Yeah, it was a 96 Probe. A 97 Nissan Maxima was my first tuner car.
Okay.
Before the movie Fast and Furious came out, all that crap.
I like how everyone's got to lay that down.
Before that. Because they have a Maxima in the Fast and Furious.
Yeah, like a blue one or something like that.
They didn't even make any parts of that car. I had a custom make. Jim Wolf Technologies custom made parts of that car from that car. I was Nitrous, Japtrix Racing in Lake Worth when they were in Lake Worth, and I think it was Lake Worth and I can't remember. Anyway, they were local, and they set it up, and that was my introduction to the tuner world.
Really?
Wow.
So that was my first car. Going to car meets. I met Jack Cecil for the first time with that car. He owns HP Logic. All my friends, most of my friends, know me with that car. And then
So the Maxima is what got you into tuner. You went away from domestic and decided to.
well, I couldn't afford the Viper, so
Yeah, well,
I couldn't afford the Maxima either. I mean, I was making payments on that car. I think I was like 19
really?
when I had that car. Nitrous. My dad was like, "What are you doing?" Broke the transmission twice.
Really? That's rough.
Yeah. It was fun though. It's a fun car. And then I got into the Probe. That was a fun venture.
And then after the Probe, you went straight into this?
Yeah. Well, I had a couple of cars, but nothing like fast.
What was it about this car that decided?
I always liked this car from day one, but again, they were expensive. I couldn't afford
Yeah,
them.
in 91, they came out, they were like 37,000.
Way more than that.
Really?
Way more than that. SC400 was the first one that came out. So in 92, SC400 was around $60,000.
Whoa.
Was it?
The sticker on this car was, I think, 86,000.
Holy shit.
Got to remember, 92. I mean, this thing had a V8 car phone, leather interior.
Yeah, this was when they started doing all the extra stuff.
This was top of the line.
It had the
back then.
auto seats, the
Yep,
electronic
yep.
seats.
2-door coupe, V8, rear-wheel drive. I mean, it was and I don't think it was worth 80 grand, but back then it was.
Well, I mean, you ought to think that you had the. I mean, Toyota was kind of reaching. They did that thing with same thing with the Supra.
Yeah,
When the
but-
Supra first came out, that was price tag on that was 80 grand.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't 80 grand when it first came out. It was like 50 when it first came out.
Yeah, but it was too expensive for what it was worth.
Yeah, it's true. I mean,
This
for
when
300
this came
horsepower.
out, it had more horsepower than the Supra.
Yeah. No. So the turbo Supra was, I think, what,
Well-
325, I think it was?
Yeah, this had 350.
Well, 97s. This is the 92s, 93s, 94s were 250.
Oh, okay. Okay.
95s were 260, 97 and up were 280, and then I think the 2000 were 300.
Oh, okay.
But it changes, like VVTI, lighter pistons, and the skinny rods.
When this engine came out, well, this isn't. What this is the engine from a 97?
No. So
That's what I thought.
we took this out of a LS400 in 93 because from 89 to 94, the 1UZ first gens are thicker rods. I mean, they're about as thick as these two fingers. The 95 and up are this big.
Ooh.
What was that for?
It's
Weight?
for-
Fuel mileage?
They wanted to get more like economic with it. They want to get more fuel mileage, and that was when like in the 90s when cars were getting slower. Back then, it wasn't like the 70s and 80s when everyone wanted 500 horsepower.
Right.
So now, and it's a heavy car, so they had to give it some power, but they couldn't do a whole lot. So they had to lighten the rod. Better.
It makes you
flowing
wonder
heads.
why if they wanted to tone down the power, they still put a V8 in it. They could have.
Well, I mean, it's one of the best V8s in the world.
because
They spent
the
a
SC
crap ton of money on developing it.
Yeah. Well, the SC300 had the inline six, didn't it?
Yeah, it's the super motor. It's the 2J. 2JZ.
But it wasn't the GTE.
Wasn't GTE. In Japan, the Soar I think was a 1JZ turbo.
Yeah. Well, in Japan, they
Soar.
they do all the good stuff
Yeah.
out there.
But it like I said, so we took that motor out of the LS400
Right.
because it's stronger. I mean, this motor isn't built. I mean, the only thing that's done to this is ARP head studs, MLS head gaskets, and valve springs. That's it. And the car makes 780 wheel.
Get out of here.
Yeah. And it does that every day. I mean, it's broken now, but it did that every day.
He literally broke it on the way.
I mean,
here.
on the way here, racing in fucking I don't even think it was Z06, which is sad. It's like, why do that? But whatever, that was fun.
It's because
Can't resist,
because
man.
race car, as Corey would
'cause
say, because
it's
race
fun.
car.
Race car.
It was fun. I still beat him with a broken car.
So I have more questions about it though, and the reason why is because you see a lot of different setups. Most everybody with these cars, they'll swap it out and they'll put that 2JZ in there.
Almost everybody.
Almost everybody. I like the fact that you kept it with the 1UZ.
And that's the reason why I kept it.
Perfect. You want to be different. I like that.
My motto is I don't want another Me Too car. And the 2JZ is just basically like the Honda game. It's a Me Too car. You
Right.
have a SC? Me too. You have a 2JZ? Me too. Do you have that intake? Me too. Do you have that turbo? Me too. It's the same thing. I bought this car. I didn't buy it. I traded my IS300 for this car. This car came with a turbo kit, not the one you see on it now. Came with a turbo kit, automatic, It was decent. But my whole goal was to take everything out, sell the turbo kit, and put a 2J in it, because my buddy who tunes the car, Jordan Tuckman, who owns Power Squirts and tunes half of the 2J world, he had one, and I loved that car from day one. And then when he had it, I was like, oh, now I really want it. And then when I first saw it, was my buddy Gary had it, and he had the V8. I didn't even know they had V8s. So, and a lot of people don't. Everyone thinks it's swapped. So when we took I forgot where I was going with this.
You were talking about how you wanted the 2J in it, but you didn't.
Oh yeah, so I wanted
you
the 2J
wanted to
in
keep
it.
the 1UZ.
So when I got the car, I had the V8. I was gonna swap it out, but then like that week there was a Lexus meet, and everyone's like, "Oh, you should go."
Okay.
So I went to the Lexus meet, and I kid you not, there were like 30 SCs there, and every single one but one of them was a 2J. And it was like 2J, 2J, and it was just like, okay, that's a different color, but it's the same car. That's a different color, but the same car. That one's an automatic, but it's the same car.
Right.
And I was like, that's it. I'm keeping the V8.
So you kept the 8. Why didn't
Which
you
I
go?
love, by the way.
Yeah, I like
yeah.
that. Why didn't you go with a twin turbo instead of one single big one in the front?
Cost, mainly.
Really?
2 downpipes, 2 wastegates, 2 turbos.
Is
More
that
things to
something
go
we're looking
wrong.
for in the future?
I mean, I was going to plan on twin turbo it, and the plan is still to twin turbo something. But I don't know. I wanted the turbo front and center. To twin turbo, it would be a lot more work. Things had to be moved around. It was just a lot more work. It was a lot less cost to do it that way. And, I'm happy with it. It spools fast enough for me. It makes all the right noises. It's fast. It pulls. And it's what I wanted, turbo front and center.
I mean, for 780 on a single turbo, I mean, it's a beast. I'm not gonna lie, it's a beast.
It's fun to drive, let me tell you.
You said you just got the solid rear axle, right?
It has a Ford 8.8 rear end in it.
And the tranny it was automatic when you got this.
It was automatic.
It's not anymore.
It's a 350Z CD009. XAT Racing supplied me with the adapter kit. They're by far, hands down, the best company ever when it comes to adapter kits.
Yeah.
I had a Collins kit on here. It broke everything on the car.
Really?
Took it off. I mean, went to the track one time. Took one pass. It broke the drive shaft and the clutch. And then when I sent the guy the picture, he laughed and goes, "Oh, I'm going to send that to the guy who made the drive shaft because I think that's kind of funny." No, it's not funny. I spent $2,900 on your kit and it broke.
Damn.
So his remedy for that was for me to buy his new Stage 6 twin kits,
Spend
which
more
was
money.
$2,600 alone. Not just for the kit, just for the clutch. So I talked to Andrew and Lonnie at XCT Racing, and they gave me a good deal on their kit. And it was bigger. The other kit was a 7.2 twin. That's on and off. That's like a light switch.
Yeah.
So it's hard to drive. This is 8.5. It's a little better. Still hard to drive, but it's much more manageable. My girlfriend could probably pull this out of the garage now. And before, there's no way.
Fair enough.
Do you drive it a lot, or is it stay in that garage most of the time?
Lately, it's been in the garage because it's been raining, because I don't like driving it when it rains.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised you brought it today.
It didn't rain often. It was just drizzles.
Yeah.
So I looked at the radar, and I was like, whatever. Now I'm kind of regretting that, but...
Hey,
You cruise it when you
happen.
drive it, or do you hit it? You cruise when you drive it, or do you
I try to cruise.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're in a car
Temptation.
like this,
I mean, you'd have to literally be in the car to understand. I mean, just the noises it makes, the sounds it makes, the power it makes. It's just a fun car. No matter if you're just driving to the gas station or going to a car meet or actually racing it, no matter what you're doing, it just sounds awesome. It pulls nicely. Everyone looks at you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a fun car to drive.
So, how many people think you're driving a Supra?
No one thinks I'm in a Supra. Everyone thinks it's a 2J.
I'm sure.
Well, yeah.
Why do you think? And this is one question I really wanted to ask you, being an SC400 guy. Why do you think the Supra got so much love? And the SC400 that kind of fell on its face, honestly. It didn't sell as much as they thought it was.
I mean,
straight off the bat, it didn't. And then, even now, people will spend a ton of money on a Supra when they can get something like this
You know, people are going to say it's because of the movie, but I don't think that's the case, because I was into Supras before the movie even came out, and for the simple fact that it was a Toyota-built race car. I mean, it had headlights that would move with the road. It had the suspension. It had the drivetrain. It had the turbo. I mean, that's a race car. That's a car that made to go fast. And look at it. I mean, it's one of the top contenders in any type of racing. Not any type, but mostly drag. So, I mean, you don't see too many of these, you know, running sixes. And, you know, my boy Mike Ramis, I think he's the fastest SC. He went like a 7.4 or 7.2.
That's pretty quick.
It's pretty fast. But,
Yeah.
I mean, this car has been around for a long time, and it's just one. There's
Right.
like 50 Supers that can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's a big car. It's a heavy car. Car weighs 3,900 pounds, I think.
Oh.
It's a monster. I feel like, though, this is like, if you want to be comfortable and fast at the same time, this is how it is.
Oh yeah.
So
If you want a boat, if you want a yacht, this is what you do.
How much is it though? Where when people hear Lexus, most of the time they don't think performance, right? To Toyota to some extent, but I don't think Lexus really has that history, the pedigree of performance.
Well, this was their first go at it.
Right.
This was their chariot for that platform, and this car won a bunch of awards. It was number one for a long time, and even to today's standards, this car is still great. I mean, have you guys seen my YouTube video where I balance a quarter on the manifold while it's running?
For real?
Yeah,
I might have to find that.
and it just sits there. Their
Wow, that's
commercials
insane.
for this when they first came out was the wine glass. Remember the commercials?
Oh,
They had all the water, and they
yeah.
turned it on, they were revving it, and the water didn't spill.
Yeah.
I mean, this is boosted, 780 horsepower, been taken out 3 or 4 times, got solid motor mounts, and it still runs so smooth that it doesn't knock down the quarter down.
That's insane.
I mean,
Jesus.
go look it up. West Palm GT is my YouTube, and just look up. You'll see it. It's crazy.
Do you think that if this car and the Supra came out at a lesser price when it first came out, do you think it would have been like the Hondas you see now, where everybody's got a Honda?
Yeah. I mean, because it's a performance car. Everybody wanted it, just couldn't afford it.
It was just price.
It was, your dad or your lawyer, your doctor had it, and then, it took 10 years for people like you and me to get them.
Right.
But look what happened. I mean, that 10 years, they were running 10s and 9s, and I mean, it was the go-to import car.
Have you seen any of these supercharged?
Oh yeah.
The 1UZ?
Oh yeah. I got a couple of friends on Facebook.
That they supercharged it?
Yep. There's one guy with a classic truck who's got 2 superchargers and 2 turbos.
Oh, my God.
Jesus.
It's the craziest
Holy
thing. It's
crap.
Why?
2 superchargers, and he's got 2 turbos, and it's feeding into the It's crazy.
That's a hell of a
Crazy.
That's a
That's
crazy
some
build.
Frankenstein
I mean, I'm
shit.
sure it's just for show. I'm
It's
sure it
gotta
doesn't go
be.
anywhere, but I mean, it's crazy. But
Would
they actually sell a kit. They sell a kit for Pro chargers, Roots chargers, Whipples. There's a lot. Everyone thinks there's no aftermarket for this car, but there is. It's just expensive. I mean, this is your
Like any other
average-
Toyota aftermarket is kind of all expensive, in my opinion.
Yeah, but your average, 18-year-old is going to go out and buy an SC300. He's going to buy an SC400 because they're cheaper. Because people don't want them. They want the 300. So that's why the prices go up for the 300s. 400s are like, oh, it's a 400. We're going to get rid of the V8 anyway. Give me like $1,500 for it. I bought mine for $2,000. I mean, in '97. And they just take those motors out and they throw super engines in them.
That's so crazy. So you got the turbo, your 1UZ, you changed the transmission. What about all the supporting stuff, fuel system, stuff like that?
So the only fuel system modifications I did was the fuel rails from the stock fuel rails. So it goes from the fuel rail to the fuel pressure regulator, and that's it.
Really?
The rest is hardline stock factory lines. I'm even running this factory fuel filter that we change every 3 months. Shouldn't do that. Stupid to do, but I'm just lazy.
I have.
And it works. I mean, if it's working, why?
Yeah.
I mean, I should get a micro filter for it, and then people are going to comment, you should get a micro filter for it, but whatever. I don't care. It's my car.
Nobody comments on our videos anyway. Don't worry about it.
No, they'll get there. About this
You
one,
will.
they're
You'll-
going to comment.
Trust me.
Yeah, there's a. It's not a large community, but it's a tight community. So
Yes.
if you own an SC400, you probably know somebody else who owns SC400. Like they stay together. It's not, So I actually funny enough, I met this dude. I don't even really know his name. He saw me driving to work the other day, and he stopped and asked me if I knew any tips for him and things like that. And I told him I was meeting with you today, and he asked for some tips to 1UZ owners when building the motor, some things that are a must for reliability.
So, most important thing if you're going to build a 1UZ, first gen, the thicker rod motor. So when you buy ARP head studs, 2 of them have to be actually cut down because they hit the scissor gear on the head, and it was a big issue.
Wow.
So
You found that out the hard way, or you kind of knew it from somebody else?
when I did my research and I asked the right people questions. I'm not those people who just ask questions just to get the answers. I looked on those forums for months to see who was people who are answering questions and or seem smart, and that's how I met Paul Geary. He's from Australia. He pretty much mentored me and told me everything I need to do, and everything that this car has is what he has told me, and it's making 781 wheel. So his formula works.
That's insane.
So. So that is a big thing. You need to put in MLS head gaskets, multi-layered steel head gaskets. You have to. And don't get the, I should have brought the part number. If you guys message me on Instagram or Facebook, you can find me on Instagram at SC400 Turbo V8. I can get you the part numbers, but they sell these, the head gasket, and it's like an 85.5 millimeter. Sometimes there's issues with that. You have to get the stock. I think it's 89.5 or 2. I can't remember. I have the part numbers from Cometic. I can give them to you. Do not use the 95 ones. Paul was telling me that sometimes the head will lift a little and it can get underneath that extra space. They've had quite a few issues with that. So I never put that in my car. I've never had that issue. So that's one thing you might want to look at too. Other than that, make sure it's tuned. Make sure you have the right fuel, and these motors will last. They'll last. I mean, I beat the piss out of this car. You've taken photo shoots, and I'm driving it like I don't care.
You pretty much beat on it.
I mean, it's
we've done rollers. We've
0
done,
to 80 every time.
We've done rollers. We've done everything. It's we got a little bloop bloop from the cops once. That was fun. While I'm hanging halfway out the window, but yeah, no, this is one of my favorite cars, and it's also because it's very unique. Now I saw you did the vent here. That's definitely not stock. You put the bottom the splitter skirt. I know you got a diffuser back there.
Yep. So the body, the exterior was done by Daryl. He owns Lincoln Auto Body. It's a kind of longer name. It's Lincoln Auto Body something Creations. I forgot the name, but everybody knows Daryl.
That's what
he's got a sweet Supra, and the guy is he's a magician, and he has magic hands. The guy does good work. But he put this is actually a KBD 55 millimeter wide body.
Okay.
And it's polyurethane, so you can push on it, you can pull it, nothing happens to it. And
That's crazy.
And it's wrapped, so none of the paint won't crack.
That's the way to go.
The lip, Rare Fab made, it's industrial grade ABS. It was a sheet, and he just cut the sides and the front, and then he made the diffuser in aluminum.
You used to have that big ass wing on it. Now you have more of a drag wing.
Yep.
Is that because we're focusing more on drag?
That was really just for kind of like for shows, because when I first started, Rare Fab sponsored me, and they said, I want you to do, you go to the shows. So that's what I did. And he's like, I kind of want to put a wing on it. And I always liked SEs with wings. I personally liked it with a wing.
That thing was monsters.
It was big. I wasn't expecting it to be that big. The wing I got was from Big Country Lab. It was the 18 millimeter carbon. And when I pulled it out of the box, I went, "Oh my god!"
I took the pictures of it, and they reposted them on their page. But I mean, it was like you could have ate lunch with 12 people on that wing. It's
definitely a big picnic table, and I like it. I still like it. I mean,
I thought it looked good.
That picture that you took by the bridge, not the one on the bridge, even though that one is a dope picture.
Yeah.
My favorite picture of all time was the one you took when the bridge was in the background, and you had the cartwheel.
Right.
That by far is my favorite picture.
Well, we're gonna have to do it again. We'll definitely get together for another shoot. But
But I took that off because,
Yeah.
you could literally feel how bad it was slowing me down.
Really? Much drag.
It was bad. At the day I took it off, you noticed it. It was
Wow,
crazy.
that's insane.
And
So-
everybody always says, like, oh, you put wings on cars, you're not going to notice it unless you're really, like, racing.
Well, that wing is for sliding around, and I'm going straight.
Yeah.
It put my ass to the ground, but it also was a parachute.
Makes
Because
sense.
I tell you what, I went to go race a Hellcat, one of those Hellcats, and beaten by a fender.
Really?
By a fender. Went back, took the wing off. I beat him by a car,
Wow, no way.
and we raced like 3 more times, and every time it was the same race, beat him by a car.
Wow.
So that was the
That
last day.
much of a
That was the
difference.
last day I put the wing. I was last day the wing went on. Took it
that
off.
much of a difference.
I can't
That's
believe it made that
insane.
much of a difference.
That's crazy.
And I put the drag wing on.
I like the drag one. The drag one looks good. Are we racing? Are you going to do IRA, roll racing, dig racing? Are you looking to do that, or
I'm
is this
not
kind
really interested in points or competition like that. I just like driving it. I like going to the street. If someone wants to roll up, I'll run it. And I like the roll racing events. It's much safer, but it's always hard to find a race there. I'll go there, even if there's like 30, 40 people, and everyone will get 50 runs in. I'll get 3, because no one won't run me, or I'm either too fast or I'm too slow. I can't be in between. It's a 135, 140 track car. There's no in between. You're either too fast or you're too slow. I'm the slowest car in my group.
That's 780
I'm
horsepower.
the slowest car in my group.
Is that because of the weight?
No, they're just much faster cars. Well, yeah, probably. Yeah, I got my ass handed to me by a 1.5 single cam hatch. My buddy Kenny whooped my ass.
Yeah, but that thing weighs half what this does.
Still,
That's-
slowest car in the group.
That's rough.
That's why everyone's like, oh, build it, go for 1,000. I'm happy where it's at.
I will say though that everybody hates on everybody switches to the 2J, and the 2J is king, and 2J swap everything. And don't get me wrong, the 2J is a great engine, and it's been proven time and time again that it will run.
I will admit it's a better motor.
But I think that the true potential out of the 1UZ hasn't been found, because there's not as many people going for that big number
Yeah.
as everybody else with
And I
like,
don't
the
get
2Js.
it. I don't get it. I'm in a group on Facebook. It's literally called Turbo Force Induction 1UZ, like force induction. Most everybody just builds them. I don't get it. You don't have to build it. The stock block will hold. And most people want 500, 600 horsepower. Nobody wants 8, 1,000. They don't need it. But they all build the motors. And then when they ask, well, what did you do to the motor? MLS, head gaskets, air head studs, and valve springs. Well, what about rods and pistons? No. Did you gap the rings? No. Was I supposed to? Yeah. I didn't. Yeah.
And it works fine.
It works fine.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
OG1UZ asks, are you interested in racing another Turbo SC400?
I would race anybody.
I knew that answer
It
was
doesn't
coming.
matter.
Let's run them.
I don't care. And I post my losses on my wins.
You've never been shy about if things that go wrong, things that go right. You're one of the only ones. A lot of people will hide the fact when their car breaks. They're like, "Oh, my car broke," because everyone's first thought when a car breaks is driver error, right? You shifted wrong or something like that. So a lot of people, in my opinion, that's why they won't put out when their car breaks or what happened to it.
But that's true.
Yeah, it is. Well, yours wasn't today.
Want to bet?
Oh, yeah?
Every time this car breaks, it's my fault.
Really?
Every time.
You believe that?
Every time.
Get out of
First time
here.
I blew the motor, I didn't have enough fuel. And I turned the boost up to race a guy, and I blew it up because I'm an idiot. Okay? Second time I broke the motor, I was in fifth gear at like 4,000 RPM, and I'm like, I'm just going to floor it. And I floored it, and I broke the input shaft in the transmission.
Oh, shit.
All right, I stand corrected. Apparently, if you blow,
But I don't care. It's my car. I got people. They sit there and they say, I lost against the Civic. Why would you post that? Why wouldn't I? I don't care.
Yeah.
I've
gives a
beaten
shit.
ZL1s. I've beaten Vipers. I've beaten other fast cars. You're not going to be the fastest, and it's power to weight ratio. I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's fun.
That's it. It's fun.
Sloshy 53. I don't know if you know this person. You must have. It says, do you have to clean the passenger seat every time you show off the anti-lag?
Yes.
I've been in the car with that, and it definitely, it'll wake you up. It'll wake you up.
Yeah, I did it on the way here underneath the overpass.
Yeah.
And
you have to do it on the, it's like, that's obligatory.
And it was because after I raced that Corvette,
Right.
we had both turned off and he was in there. And I mean, when we got past it, he looked at me and was like, what the hell was that? I was like, it's my anti-lag. You're lucky I didn't use it on you. But it was so loud. Like all the bums and everything that were there were getting up and they all were like awakened. They're all walking around going, what the hell? They thought it was gunfire.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It sounds like gunfire. I'm not going to lie.
I'm surprised you guys didn't hear it because it was close enough.
So we were actually standing here and JP's like, yo, I think I heard it. So he might have.
Well, you were sitting there going, you'd know if you heard it.
Yeah, well, because normally, I'm also
It's
half
loud.
deaf, so it's loud. It's very loud.
It's loud.
No, but I really love the car. You're gonna have to get me some videos of it. What do we are we changing anything, or you're happy the way it is now?
So I'm pretty happy on the power. You know, I've always said that if I floor and if I don't smile from ear to ear, it's not fast enough. My face hurts when I drive this car, so it's fast enough for me.
And then you just bought another one.
I did.
What are we doing with that?
So that was so my girlfriend could drive something to like shows and stuff. So that car isn't going to be fast per se.
Clean.
It's going to be clean. You know, I always make the joke that, you know, I win at shows with this race car that I never intended to be a show car.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine what I'm going to do with a show car. So,
Ooh.
that car.
Damn,
Wow.
Yeah, that car is going to hurt some feelings.
I'm happy because, you know, it's another new car in the show scene. And, you know, everyone knows this. You know, you've been to, if you go to 5, what is that?
Train.
Oh, there's a train. If you go to 5 car shows in the same area, you've pretty much seen almost everything that area has to bring. Unless you get that weird one-off car show. Dreamfest was one of them for me, where you find like cars that come out of the woodworks. Like they skipped every other car show, but they decided to go to that one. So I'm happy that are you keeping it the same color? What do you think? Does it have a 1UZ in it?
Yeah.
Are you keeping it that? Are you going to turbo it?
So here's the plan. With that car, there's a few options. Option number 1 is to keep the motor that's in it, which is actually a 93 1UZ. The guy already had swapped it because he planned on turboing it because of this car. And but right now there's some issues. It's the wiring harness is different. The ECU is different. I have to. I'm actually in talks with a guy named Ben who's going to hook me up with a standalone for it. But I want to either ITBs and then just keep it on motor and automatic so she can drive it. That's option 1. Option 2, Rare Fab does want to make a production twin turbo kit for the 1UZ because they keep getting so many phone calls because of this car. So that is option 2. Option 3 is which I really want to do, but it's going to be the most expensive. Toyota in Japan has a car. It's called a Century. The Century has a V12 in it.
Ooh.
So, ironically,
Bro.
that
What?
V12 is the same exact automatic that's in the white car now.
Bro.
They already XAT makes a kit that will bolt it right in.
Bro. Do it.
They also make a kit that can put a 6-speed transmission,
Sold.
but I think I'm still going to keep it
go.
auto. But so and then Rare Fab would twin turbo it.
Twin turbo V12.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
I don't think.
Please.
There's no question.
there is.
I feel like I'm in Shrek.
It's
Option
It's
three, my lord.
$3,000 just for the motor. It's probably gonna be another $3,000 for the standalone.
But you'll have the only one.
No, I won't. So Top
Ooh.
Secret has a same setup.
Oh yeah.
Supra.
I seen that one. The
Supra.
gold one.
Yeah,
Ugly color in my opinion.
I like it. I
I
like
think
it because you don't see it often.
No.
So that's why I like it. And I like
Yeah,
oddball
but-
things.
You would have the only one in an SC400.
Yes.
I think I think you got to do it on principle.
And the reason why I'm leaning towards that is because I know what Rare Fab can produce.
I'm such a shitty influence, by the way. I'm like, do it.
I've seen what they've done with Lamborghinis and Ferrari exhausts. So
their custom work is second to none.
I mean, it's pretty badass. So I know for a fact that I can get this car to sound like an F1. Insane.
Yeah.
Do I want to spend 10, 12 grand just to have the sound? It's not going to be fast. That car makes 308, I think, wheel horsepower, and it's not. You can't build them, and it's going to cost me 10 grand or 20 grand to build it. So you can't 6 pounds maybe. So you maybe make 400 horsepower if you're lucky.
It's at that point it's just principle.
But it would be cool.
It would be cool.
I mean, the cool factor alone.
Yes.
I mean, can you imagine going to a show and popping up and there's 2J, 1UZ, LS, 12-cylinder.
Yeah.
I mean,
that'd be insane.
you would definitely stand out. I'm pretty sure everyone know who you are. Have you seen the is it the RX-7 that's on YouTube right now with the hydraulic power shifters? It's got like a Formula 1 transmission in it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I'm waiting to see something like that crazy.
My buddy Danny, Danny's actually has a SC400, or I think it's 240 he's doing. He's doing a 1UZ, and he's doing one of those DS boxes in it.
It's going to be nice.
It's going to be nice. And I'm glad he's doing it because he's the type of person that does it right. Like, he's meticulous.
Right.
Yeah.
And when he does things, I mean, if you look at his car now, I mean, there's not much done to it, but just by looking at it, it's like it looks super clean. And
how much does the aesthetics of a car matter to you? Like you said, this car was made to go fast, but you obviously also care about how it looks.
That really only came about because of Rare Fab. They said go to shows, and I'm not going to go to a show with a stock car. I wanted to make a name for Rare Fab, so I usually just asked Will. I was like, well, what do you want to do with the car? I'm like, I'm down to do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. And I told him my ideas. He didn't like them.
Will is definitely out there with some of his ideas, though.
He told me his ideas, and it's Will. I love all his ideas. There's a will, there's a way. So, and that's what he did. So he wanted, it's his idea for the diffuser. It was his idea, for the lip. He wanted to, build water pipes the way he did it, which I actually love. And basically the wide body was just because I like it.
But even down to the headlights too.
OG status, right?
Yeah. I don't know what.
How'd you link up with them?
So I saw
they're out in California. I think,
yeah,
right?
just on the forums. I just saw I saw it on Ryan Allen's car, and Ryan Allen's is the other twin turbo 1UZ. He lives in Orlando. That's a whole. You guys should get him on your show because that's a whole different animal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a show car.
All right, we'll bring him on.
That's a show car, twin turbo car. This is a race car.
Yeah.
Not a show car. His car will destroy this car at a car show. So imagine what that car's going to.
We're gonna have to bring him out. I'll reach out.
He's a nice guy. You'll like him. But I saw his lights, and his lights were fully custom. Like, he has a patent on them, so where no one could make them.
Really?
But I asked him, I go, where'd you get them? He's like, OG Status. So I looked up OG Status, and I saw him, and I was like, wow, that's really nice work.
He does clean work. It's really nice. He puts a lot of detail into it. I've talked to the guy over the phone, and he does really good stuff.
Yeah. So I don't really know when I decided to do that. I don't know why. I mean, I think my headlights were just so bad, and when I was at shows, it was just, it was an eyesore.
Yeah.
It was a big eyesore, and,
You wouldn't think it, but headlights do make a huge difference.
It's a huge difference. It was crazy. And sometimes when water would get in and be all foggy, it would be weird, and it was just horrible.
Right.
I'll show you some photos, and you'll see right away. I mean, a lot of them had to be airbrushed out, and
it draws your eye away from the beauty of the engine into something that's like,
crazy.
You couldn't have just fixed that one piece.
So and I got that a lot.
Yeah,
a lot. Every time.
I didn't mean to bring up so.
When are you gonna get these headlights fixed? So that's pretty much when I was like, all right, I'm gonna go out and I'm actually gonna, At first I looked up OG Status, and I do what everybody does: is look at the price and go, oh my god, fuck no.
Yeah.
Everyone does that.
They are expensive, but
here's the thing though. I'm the perfect example. I went the other route, and I tried cleaning them and sanding them. I tried doing the eBay ones, doing it. Just nothing looked right, and I spent $200-$300 on products and things to make it work. I'm like,
yeah,
fuck, man, just go out and spend the money once,
Right.
And I'm so glad I did
And
it.
you don't have to
that
worry
was,
about it.
what, 2-3 years ago, and I've never had to worry about it. And even if I had something like, if something was peeling up or anything, the slightest thing, he'd send it back and he fixes it. No questions, he'll send you the box, you don't got to pay for anything, and he'll fix it. I just never had a problem.
He does a hell of a job.
And they're awesome lights. So number one thing that I get compliments on, the headlights.
I will say, yeah, they're a lot different. You don't normally see these. You said Rare Fab. You keep saying Rare Fab. You keep saying Rare Fab, but I know Rare Fab also has a little bit of a drifting past. Will has a little bit of a drifting past. But how did you link up with them? I know you've known him for a while.
Yeah, so I knew Will in the tuner scene. He's raced my Probe in his Mustang. We've raced each other before. We're in the same clique. Speed was a big. He was in Biz Speed. I was in Biz Speed. And over the years, he was just somebody I knew. We didn't really hang out. And I had bought 08 GTI, and I was buying parts for that car because I can't keep anything in stock. And I bought this really expensive exhaust for the Volkswagen, and when I got it, the downpipe had a crack in it. So I made a comment on Facebook, does anyone know a place I can get this fixed? And my buddy Armando said, oh, Will just opened up a shop. You should go to him. I didn't even know who he was talking about. So I was like, whatever, it was close to the house. I went over there, and he said, yeah, come on over, 20 minutes. Sweet, $40. That's easy. So I go there, and I realize it's Will. So now we're shooting the shit, having a good old time. And I'm looking around in his shop, and I'm just looking at all these cars. I'm like, man, this is some nice stuff.
Yeah.
And, he fixes the weld within like minutes. And I'm looking at the weld. I'm like, man, this is really nice. It's better than when it first bought it. So then I started talking to him about my Lexus. And then I told him, I was like, you know what, there's a turbo kit on it, but I really don't like it. And, it's really down low. It touches everything. And my AC is broken. The power steering is broken. I really want something done right. He's like, oh, bring it in. And he hates when I tell people this, but I brought...
But here it comes.
I brought in a $40 weld part and left with a $70,000 Lexus.
That's funny.
Because we're boys, and he did cut me a deal. He said, he knows who I am, he knows how I am, and he told me, he's like, if you go to these shows and you show, tell them that you send them to me, I'll cut you a deal. So he built this whole turbo kit from scratch, his first one, by the way.
Wow.
For $3,500.
Wow.
And that's including parts and labor.
Holy shit.
That's impressive.
Yeah. That was, I went to the bank right away. I was like, okay. So, and it took about 3 months. And the rule was, I said, this is what I want. I want the turbo front and center. I want the pipes equal length. I don't want it to bank from one side. I want it to be equal length. I don't care if you had to make it long, whatever. I don't care. And I wanted it not to touch anything. No AC lines, power steering, nothing. So I said, here are the keys. You don't need my permission for anything. Just do it. So he sent me pictures here and there, but I didn't even want to see it. And I came in, and that's what it is.
He exceeded every expectation.
It was, it blew my mind.
That's crazy.
Blew my mind.
I'm telling you, I've been in the shop twice. I think I've been to his shop. And I know he had that one secret squirrel thing in there for a while. Is he done with that?
No, so that's
still there.
That's still there.
Holy
shit! It's getting there. It's getting there.
Because
what he had to get done was done.
What he had to get, well, I'll say that. What he had to get done was done. He was always waiting for somebody else or another part, or waiting on another shop to finish a part. And I remember he had parts just sitting around waiting to go be installed, but he needed another part first. And I know he does. He's got a old buddy in there who does the on the CAD system, and they print out everything on
they do
3D
a lot of
printers
3D printing
to like get the shapes right and get this fitment right
That's
and
awesome.
stuff like that.
Yep.
I'm telling you, bro, there's
right.
some monsters
He
in
has a
that
plasma
shop.
cutter.
You're good.
It's fine.
Plasma cutter. I think it's a plasma cutter. I don't know. It's a big old table.
The CNC machine.
I don't.
Is it a CNC machine?
It just cuts.
I don't know. I haven't seen that.
He used it to cut the diffuser. He used it to cut this.
Okay.
That's awesome, man.
But yeah, they do good work. So Rare Fab, if you're looking, what do they normally?
So here's here's the thing. So they changed.
Yeah.
So they used to be a performance fabrication shop. Since Palm Beach Dyno moved in.
Which we had them on the show, Ken Bionis. If you haven't seen that episode, go see that episode. Guys got some fun
Great
stuff.
guy, great shop,
Awesome.
great tuners. And if you guys in the Mustang world, I mean, that's the place to go.
Second
If you're
half of
not
that
getting
video
tuned by
is
Ken,
hysterical.
you got an issue.
So now they mainly just, because of Ken, they mainly just work on Mustangs now.
So, we both just talked at the same time, but it's fine.
But it's mainly Mustangs. They're popping out 1,600 wheel horsepower Mustangs, like it's
insane.
pens, like just
Really?
I mean, it's crazy. And now they're getting into like the Porsche,
More higher end stuff.
they're
There
doing-
was a Porsche there the last time.
they're doing a lot of
He
stuff
just
with
knows
that
his stuff, man. That's
I mean, like
awesome.
maintenance stuff, performance stuff,
I feel like Will is that kind of person where
anything.
yeah, and with this is an exact depiction of it. He's the kind of person that can visualize things very well.
Yeah,
He
I can't do that.
I can't do that. I can't look at an engine bay and be
Exactly.
like, okay, I want to put this here. I want to put this. Will,
it's
for
uncanny.
some reason, he's got a picture in his head and he can already see where he wants everything to go.
It's uncanny.
Yeah, I can recognize a beautiful when it's done and look at it and
Yeah.
go, "Holy shit, that's just beautiful." But I can't picture it in my head before it's created.
And
so.
when he was doing it, someone I would go there and he would say what he was going to do. And he's like, yeah, like the water lines, for example. He was explaining these water lines, and it's exactly how they look is how he was explaining to me, but I could not picture it in my head.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, man. Just do what you got to do. And then when I saw it, I'm like, holy crap, he did it.
that makes sense.
mean-
You're like, I get it now.
A lot of those things that he did. He made the canisters, the power steering reservoir. He made.
Oh, they're here.
Yeah. He did the only thing he didn't make was the catch can. He said you can get them so cheap now.
There's no reason
It's a
to
waste of time
custom make
to custom make that. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's just crazy.
You guys should go check them out. Rare Fab on Instagram and YouTube. There's.
I'll try to put some of their YouTube videos and
You
all
gotta
the
get him on
YouTube
the show,
video,
too.
things like that. I've been wanting to get him on the show.
but he's just busy.
There's certain people like we've had Durf Tune scheduled twice and he's had to cancel for multiple issues. They're just really busy guys. Same with Will from Rare Fab. I know I haven't even really reached out to him just because I know there's always something on the plate.
You guys could probably go there and do it.
But yeah, we're
the
definitely
office.
open to travel a little bit. But yeah, we're gonna get Will on from Rare Fab. Durf Tune is eventually gonna get on here. We got a couple other, we kind of bounce back and forth between like street car guys and circuit guys and drag guys and stuff like that. Really excited. I think in the following weeks we have Chris Jackson from Jackson Performance, U.S. Drift Circuit. He's going to come on. And I've also been in contact with
Chris Jackson owes me a drift event. He owes me a ride along, by the way.
He owes you a ride along. I'll let him know.
I won at the face off, but I don't know what happened.
And then Ernie Jr. We're gonna get him on. Ernie Francis Jr. We're gonna get him on the show. The up and coming Trans Am driver, 6 championships. He's only 22 years old, so we just locked him in too. But so that's a couple of things coming down the pipe. But
Nice.
yeah, I'm very impressed. I've always been very impressed with the build. This is one of my favorite SC400s, just for the fact that it still has the 1UZ in it. You have the Volkswagens. Because that's your dailies, aren't you? Like, are you doing anything with
I
that?
had
or-
the Volkswagen.
Ooh,
It got hit.
get out of here.
Yeah, that's why I got the Lexus, the other one.
Oh,
It got hit from the back. They hit the rim.
really?
Yeah.
Damn.
My fault.
How?
How is this? He just I wasn't expecting that. He just sneaks that
Yeah,
in there,
yeah.
just so calmly, nonchalant.
Not one of my
fault.
proudest moments. I was at a stop sign, and this jerk ass was coming to us, and he didn't have his blinker on, and he turned. So I got mad. I was like, "You ass!" Trying to flick him off, and I'm trying to go around. This lady behind him is mad because he didn't have a signal on, so she went around him. So when she went around him, she hit the gas, and she hit my.
So that one asshole caused all that problem.
Yep. And,
What a dick.
and I know he saw it, and I know what he was thinking. Like, flick me off. I know that's what he's thinking, and that's what kills me. I don't care that my car's gone. I just know that he got the one up on me.
Yeah, that's when you
what
want to run
kills
him
me.
down and like bin him
That's
into the
what
ditch or
kills me.
something.
Because I know he's thinking about it probably tonight too. Like, yeah, asshole.
I got that sucker.
Whatever. Karma. What can I say?
It happens. I mean, yeah.
Whatever. Hey, listen, they got me the Lexus. I'm happy with it, and that Lexus is going to be dope. We're going to wrap
V12.
it.
That's
Maybe.
going to be a twin turbo,
Maybe.
12-cylinder
Maybe.
But
But no, we're gonna
for him, man. What are you
I'm
doing
announcing
over
it
here?
for him right now.
we're gonna wrap that car. We're gonna
Pink.
wide body. No, Tiffany blue. Swear to
Ooh.
God. Swear to God.
I'm okay with that.
Tiffany blue with the rose gold wheels.
Woo! Where are you getting the wheels? I
don't
know
know
you got
yet.
welds on these.
So I'm actually gonna do a real legit wheel. I'm gonna actually spend the money. So Daryl said he's selling wheels now, so I might link up with him, the guy who owns Lincoln Auto Body.
Okay.
So yeah, he's doing all the body work. I mean, obviously. 'cause
Are you wide bodying that too?
Yeah, it's good. Everything is going to be KVD on that car. Everything they make, from the bumper to the lip to the duckbill. So it's going to have a wide body, side skirt, rear, front, lip, and duckbill, and then the interior is going to get done. There's a company I want to go to. They're super expensive, but they do the best work. So I might have to save for about 6 months,
Okay.
but they're
I'm
going to
so
do it.
excited to see this car.
And
done,
it's going to
man.
be Alcantara, they call it Alcantara, and it's going to be with Tiffany blue piping,
Okay.
and then
wow.
carbon fiber pieces here and there. I might even put a race pack cluster in it just because it looks cool.
This is going to be nice.
No, it's going to be nice. It's going to be nice. I might even put airbags on it. I'm not sure.
So that would be, you bag it? Oh,
It's
man.
definitely going to have OG headlights. I'm also going to do the OG LED taillights.
Yeah. I'll tell you,
yeah.
if you haven't looked into OG status, check them out on Instagram.
It's going to have
They do really good work.
bunch of XAT racing parts.
What? Damn! I just had a question. God damn it! Did I do it again? If there was one thing that you had to, I mean, you already gave out, how to build reliability and things like that. If there was one thing that you had to give a message to somebody who wants to build a 1UZ SC400, was there like something that you missed and you had to go back and fix, a reoccurring issue that you ended up figuring out? Like, what was that major lesson? If there was one major lesson that you had to tell to the next person who wants to do this same build or even a better build, this is what you need to do.
Probably the valve springs, because after 550, it started to get valve float. And the guy who I bought the valve springs from, his name is Ben Newell. He's a guy in the UK. He says a bunch of parts. He even told me ahead of time. He's like, you're at the range where you're gonna get valve float. You should buy my set of valve springs. And then I just thought he was just trying to sell me something. He was right.
He was right.
So
He was right.
So I bought them, and it fixed the issue. And
Okay.
I've had them in the car since, and that was 4 years ago.
Wow.
Do you want to go over your sponsors before we? Because I'm done with questions. Unless you have something extra that you wanted to get out there, let everybody know. Do you have any more questions?
No.
You want to rattle off your sponsors? Because I know you got
It's the
a
only
shit ton.
No, I don't.
Oh no,
It's crazy.
Well, you
I
you have
support-
that list of all the.
I support the products that I like.
Okay.
So they don't have to give me discounts. They don't have to give me. I'll still support them. Like OG, they didn't give me a discount. I paid full price, but I would still sponsor them. I would still,
Because it's a fantastic
because it's
product.
a fantastic product. Same thing with XAT Racing. I mean, they do kind of hook me up, but I would never ask them to. But the only person that actually sponsors me there's three. Rare Fab, first and foremost. Rovo Speed is an online parts store. My buddy owns it. You will not find a Brog Warner turbo cheaper than him. I mean, he's got the best prices for Brogs. I get all my turbos from him. And there's Power Squirts. Jordan Tuckman owns Power Squirts. He's the #1 tuner in Florida, I think. He's really good, and he tuned the car.
Awesome.
Also, OG Status is doing a promotion, 10% off if you put in the promo code at SC400 Turbo V8. You'll get 10% off of their art. I forgot what he said. Art something.
You want to look it up? Do you have it somewhere? Well, we do.
Scott is on his phone. He's gonna have it. Let's get it out there. I like OG, so we'll definitely wait for that one. But I'll try to put it on the thing too. I got to reach out to him. Maybe we can do
Artisan
something.
Light.
What was it?
Artisan Light. ARTISA.
Artisan Light. Okay.
So,
But we can reach out to him. Maybe get some collaboration with him. 'Cause I like that.
real quick, sorry.
Go ahead.
Mike from CBF Performance. The shifter for the 1UZ is pretty good. There's another company called Serial 9 has a good one too, but I think Mike's is cheaper and it's just as good. I like it. It's a good shifter.
That's awesome.
And of course, there's RareFab.
It's RareFab. It's RareFab. So I will tell you this: check out RareFab, check out OG Status, and all the other places that Sean told you to check out. If you have any questions about the 1UZ platform, the SC400, or anything like that, if Sean doesn't know, he's the type of person that will reach out and get you that answer. He's not going to just be like, "Hey, I don't know," and leave you floating. If you want to reach out to him on Instagram, SC400 Turbo V8.
That's it.
SC400 Turbo V8. Reach out to him on Instagram. Shoot him a DM with any questions you got.
I'm pretty good at answering most questions, and like you said, if I can't answer it, I will find someone who will.
Because usually,
Awesome.
if he doesn't know the answer, you've then sparked his interest to find the answer for himself.
Because
so he'll find it for himself too.
I want people to do it. You know that I don't want to be the only 1UZ turbo at a show. It's not fun. I mean, it's.
You want to be able to show off your 1UZ against somebody else who also has a 1UZ.
There's actually a guy in I don't know where he lives, but he has an LS400, and he actually took pictures. I gave him all the pictures of my kit from everything, from start to finish, and he copied it. And,
Really?
And he made it. And he's
He
the
tracing
only,
point you.
He's the only one to do it.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Little tracing point action going on there. That's
And
nice.
it's a decent kit too. It's nice.
Did you get the dip done local?
I did. The guy I don't think is no longer doing it, but his name is Vic Joseph. It was called Pro Dip Solutions. That's been on there for 5 years.
It looks brand new.
It's crazy. And he told me what he did for it to make it last, and I can't really remember. I think he said that he got some primer from Italy that they use for like Ferrari and stuff.
Jesus.
And it's made for like high heat. And the only damage on it is from me, from like tools. When we dropped the transmission, we
Man,
forgot.
can you stop messing with the car? Like most of its problems
He's literally
are you.
throwing himself under the bus.
But it's the truth. It's the truth. It's like, and you still can't break it.
No, he did a really good job. I like the wrap. That was always one thing that really stands out that not everybody has. But I really appreciate you bringing it down. I appreciate you coming out.
Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's a fun time, right?
This is awesome.
When you get going and you don't even realize that there's cameras and microphones. You're just talking.
Yeah.
But when you get the other one up and running, we'll bring that one in too, and we'll get the whole lowdown on that. And I'll definitely reach out to Will from RareFab and all those other guys and see if we can get them on the show. We're working on actually beefing up our audio interface to try to do over the phone sponsors. Over the phone interviews with Skype and stuff like that, so we can get OG Status and people like that on who are on the West Coast that we eventually want to travel, but we'd rather do the phone call just to at least get you those guys for now. But that's really about all we got. Just thank you again for bringing it down.
Thanks
really
for
had a
having
good time. Guys, like, subscribe, share it, let your friends know. Help the channel grow. Check out our website. A lot of cool stuff on there. And we appreciate everybody's support, reposting.
And merchandise might finally be coming soon.
Ooh, really? You got good news?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me.
We'll talk.
We'll talk. All right. So our merchandise might be back up and running. Again, still taking a little while to get things going, but we're getting there.
It's actually what it comes down to is it's COVID's fault. It's COVID's fault.
Are you still doing photos?
Yeah, 100%. Apex Motorsports photo on Instagram is still mine. I still take photos. It's just with no racing going on. I haven't been doing it. That was my main thing, as I did a lot of racing photos. So I haven't done as many racing photos, but I do want to schedule some photo shoots. Life was a little crazy right there. Wife's pregnant right now, so
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. So some crazy things going on, but
We try not to talk photo,
personal stuff.
'cause
What?
in the past, when you get too into the photo and camera talk,
Yeah.
viewership goes down.
I can tell you from firsthand experience, your photos are by far dope.
I appreciate that.
I mean, the angles, the things you do to them. Like I said, that one picture is by far my favorite. I'm definitely still going to get it blown
He
up.
is, without a doubt, the best colorblind photographer in the world. That's what he is.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You are.
Well, I
in
do.
my
We got to
opinion.
shoot this one again. I also have to shoot Terrell's Civic again and all that other stuff. So we got some things coming up. Apex Motorsports Photo, we'll have some photos coming down the pipe, I promise. And Bearded Garagistas always has some cool things coming. But yeah, if you know anybody who needs to come on the show, you want to come on the show, if you go to beardedgaragistas.com, there's a contact tab. Email us, give us some information, let us know who you want to see. Let us know if you want to come on the show. If you got if you're a shop, if you're you make a product, if you're a tuner, if you're a racer, shoot us an email with your story. We'll go over it. We'll talk about you with it, and we'll see if we can, get something together. But really appreciate everybody's support. The channel's growing slowly but surely. It's always going in a positive route, and we appreciate all that support. And we're going to keep bringing you the variety. We're not going to focus on one thing ever. We're always going to have something for everyone.
To our own detriment.
To our own detriment, and that's fine. But you might not like one episode, but you'll watch another one, and we're going to bring you everything that we possibly can because we love all motorsports. So
Hell yeah.
it works for us. But yeah, again, thank you for your support, and we will talk to you guys soon. Peace.
Peace.